Well, welcome around the fire, and welcome back from game drive. It's always nice to sit around the fire after drive, and it's very, very nice to be back in the bush. It's been an amazing, almost a week since I've been back, and lots has changed, lots has been going on. Peter's joined us, Herman behind the camera at the moment. We're going to chat to both of them tonight. Marco is just around the corner there in the live control center. Ahina down at the waterhole, I'm sure you enjoyed that as well. And as usual, I find myself around the fire. It's one of my favorite spaces. And I again don't know really what to say, so I think you can say hello and introduce yourself, Pete, and we'll take it from there.
Okay. Well, hello everyone. My name is Piet, not to be confused with Peter on that side. That's happened a bit already this week, and we're going to have to find a solution for that. We're just chatting about it a little bit, and since for my family and stuff, my nickname is Piet already anyway. It's probably going to be easiest if people on the forums and other places refer to me as Piet, either spelled P-E-T-E or P-I-E-T, which is the Dutch/Afrikaans version. That's fine, sounds the same anyway. And then keep referring to Peter as Peter, and then hopefully we will not get confused too often. So let's try it like that. But anyway, whatever name, we'll figure out who it is meant for, and make sure that you get your responses and feedback from us.
Well, Peter, it's been amazing. And actually, no, it's funny enough, it works if we call each other Peter, because it's talking to each other. But it's been awesome having you here. Peter arrived on, it was on Wednesday. Tuesday evening I arrived with Herman. Wednesday Peter arrived, he did a very long drive. He drove up all the way from Cape Town. And his last day he drove 1,200 kilometers only to pull in here to camp. And the very first thing he did after we took a few bags out is we sat around the fire as well. So it started off around the fire, and I think and I feel we're going to have many more talks around the fire, so it's very nice to have you here. It really is.
Thanks.
And I'm sure you're enjoying it.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it very much. It's been a hectic week so far. Not even mentioning the drive. That's just getting out of Cape Town and getting here. But even since I got here, Graham was here, and there's so many new things to learn. It's not as simple just there's a picture in the bush, or an animal in the bush, and you want to get the picture out on the internet. There's so much that comes. It's like a 10-step process, and all the steps can go wrong, and it's technology-wise, it's quite complicated, but that's one of the things I'm enjoying. As some of you might have read from my profile, I'm an engineer by background, and I love the bush. So, actually, for me, I'm in quite a perfect place here. It's bush. I can go out into the bush and do some things and see all the animals, and at the same time, I get to play with a lot of technology and nice big man's toys, as they call it. And so, I'm really looking forward to it. To help out here. I've spoken to Graham about some new ideas already, or actually implementing ideas that existed already for a long time, and hopefully within the next couple of weeks you're going to see results from that, and just make your experience with WildEarth even more exciting.
Yeah, I must admit, it's and just sitting around the fire with you now already feels like you've been here for a while again. And we haven't had as much time really to talk the last few days. You've been running around really with a lot of stuff going on, always when Graham and Emily's down here. Apart from being good fun and just good for the whole team or the family really, which is how I think of WildEarth. But there's always lots going on. So I'm very excited personally to know that you're also interested in the technical stuff, and not just interested but also very capable. And certainly from a director's point of view, and this is something I talk about every now and again, and I even ramble about it, but as you guys know as well, trust is a big thing for me, and I've certainly from the word go felt a great deal of trust with you in the directing chair there. I mean, the first day I walked in, or the second drive, I think you were in there, and I walked in, it literally felt like you'd been there for a while already. So it really is, as I said earlier, but I just want to, I'm not saying it for the fact of us sitting on the fire. It's nice to have you here. And you also, as you mentioned, you like the bush. Peter's quite into his reptiles and butterflies and birds and all the smaller things, and GPS combination of those things. So I think we're going to see some interesting things popping out, literally.
Yeah, I love those things. There were some questions earlier about favorite animals and things, which is often the case. If you meet somebody in the bush, you ask about their favorite animals.
And it's also become a bit of a trademark for Fireside Chat.
Oh, so okay. Well, so
I'm glad you brought it up.
Fits quite nicely then. It's always difficult to pick one favorite animal. From a young age, I've been very interested in elephants, even collecting just miniatures of elephants. Now, since a couple of years living in South Africa, having the opportunity to, on a quite regular basis, actually seeing them, it's just even increased my interest in elephants. They're just such magnificent animals. To say that they are my favorite animal, I'm not sure, because I've also gotten involved a lot with the smaller things, the reptiles, the birds, the other things, and each has its own charms and interests. So I don't think I would like to pick one favorite. It's just the whole experience and the way the animals live together and depend on each other. That's actually the most fascinating part. Coming back to the birder thing, maybe I'm going to do a quick plug here. If you want to find out what my favorite bird is, that was asked to me yesterday, and I put a blog post up on the WildEarth.ning internet. So go have a look over there and find out what my favorite bird is, I would say.
Oh, nice one. Yeah, it's actually, you're talking about that, it's a thing people used to comment and joke about. They've even stopped now, I think. In the early days, I often, whenever I see something, I'll go, oh, it's one of my favorite birds, one of my favorite trees, or one of my favorite animals. And it's very true what you say. It's hard. I mean, obviously, I can fully agree with you with elephants. I've got a very soft spot for them. But yeah, it's the experience, as all of you have learned as well, and we've learned with you. It's the experience of being out there, really. And we spoke about it tonight. At one stage, I mentioned it to Herman. You'll meet him a bit more just now. But a big part of the experience is becoming interesting for me. Sorry, I'm trailing off a bit now. It's just the real feeling that I'm feeling, that you're sitting around the fire with us at this moment, that you're on the vehicle with us when we're out there, and it's nice that I've sensed that from both of you guys, that from the word go, the audience, for lack of a better word, I prefer the word friends or viewers or guests or whatever, but you guys that go and drive with us and spend time in camp with us more and more, is a very real experience, and it's nice to see you guys feeling that from the word go, in just because that's what it is, as much as it's a little bit different from what has typically been done before with wildlife especially. Well, I'm not quite sure, time always runs out for me, but Pete, anything else you want to say?
Actually not,
a lot of things.
Well, yeah, but as you said, there's very little time, and also there'll be a lot more opportunities to speak, and I'd just like to encourage people, if they have any questions for me or for the other guys, or what they'd like to know about us, about our interest in wildlife related things, just send us an email on one of our email addresses, and then I look forward to interacting with all of you and getting to know you and getting you to know me a lot better. Yeah, for sure. I think if I can reiterate that as well, it's a case of coming back as well. We spoke about it briefly the other day on Drive. It's an interesting stage for us to develop wider in terms of the questions that we talk about. Like Pete said now, wildlife questions obviously, but just whatever questions. There's a whole lot of things that we can communicate about. Yesterday's activity that we had around the waterhole, which I'm sure you were dying to be out there getting into the mud as well. I could see when we left. You were happy to be this side, but you would have been happier running around in the mud. Maybe we'll do that at some other stage. There's still a waterhole or two. But that experience was fantastic, getting some different people into it. And I think just us broadening slightly what we talk about. On the game drive as well. On typical game drives, we don't just talk about animals with people. We talk about various things. And what Pete said there as well. It's exactly about us exploring this relationship, this friendship. And Marco, what was going to happen there now? Herman's coming here. Pete's going to go into the directing seat. Pete and I sit around the fire with you. Alright, I'll say goodbye to you for now, and until we meet again. Oh, I want to sneeze. Sorry about that. Apologies for the drive tonight. I've got a bit of a cold or something at the moment, so I'm a bit sniffling and sneezing. But not something that's going to stop me from moving around. So it shouldn't influence the drive too much, apart from a bit of noise. Just to introduce the shuffle again, I always like to tell you what's going on there as well, just because it's all part of the same stage. Marco's behind the camera now. Pete's gone into the live control center. And yes, this young gentleman, he's one of the younger lads that have joined us more recently. Herman, again, you've fitted in very nicely from the word go. Jumped right into being on camera. You even opened up and said hello to the audience, which I quite enjoyed. Introduce yourself. Say hello.
Well, my name is Herman, and I just started in the beginning of this week with WildEarth. Yeah, it's been an amazing experience. I work with a lot of talented people, and I really enjoy my time here so far. Mainly I'll be doing some camera work, and I will help Marco with the bits and so forth.
Yeah. Well, the bits is something that is certainly turning into something more and more. I quite like the word bits. Graham explained to me where it came from the other day, the behind the scenes stuff. And yeah, I'm sure you can learn lots from Marco, but also it seems like you've got a lot of creativity. You come from a drama background, and
yes, yeah. I studied theatre for 3 years, and then I did a wildlife film course, and then I decided, well, I would like some time in the bush, so that's why I'm at the moment. Really enjoying my stay here.
Yeah, and you seem to be coping quite well with people moving around and us doing things as it goes along. Mm-hmm. And also, I mean, you had maybe talk to that or mention that if you don't mind. the first 2 drives, you started off with a big bang basically.
Yeah,
We had
absolutely.
amazing leopard, as you guys might remember.